Logan?
Yep, ready?
Yeah.
I'm Logan Carroll, and I'm doing the StoryCorps project in my grandpa's bedroom with my grandpa Charles Rutherford. So let's get started, I guess. So what was it like growing up in Tennessee?
It was a nice thing, but it was kind of a tough project, back in the 40s, back in the 1940s when I was growing up down there, and when I was just a young kid, and stuff. But yes, it was very nice and stuff, and I learned a lot of stuff from with my dad. My dad was a carpenter, and I always did stuff with him, and I learned a lot of stuff that way.
Did you ever work with him?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Like, did he work a lot? Like, did you see him a lot though?
Yeah.
Or did you?
Yeah.
So which one of your siblings had like the biggest impact on your life? Like out of Shelby Jr. and
Shelby was most one.
Why do you say that?
Well, because she took care of me.
Did you?
Yeah. She was, Junior. Junior was on his own. He did everything he wanted to do himself, and he left home when he was. I know how he was.
Junior was the oldest, wasn't he?
Yeah. Junior was the oldest. Yeah.
And Shelby was the
middle. She's 2 years younger than I was, older than I was.
So, what was your neighborhood like in that area in Tennessee?
The neighborhood was it was along the river. We lived along the river, Holston River. Lived along the Holston River, and they was houses probably probably a half a mile apart, and maybe some of them a little longer. But it was right on the river bank. Water. Sometimes the water got up right in the back of the when it got really heavy rains. The water got up right out of the back porch, where the back porch was from the river. And I used to go out and catch fish when it get up there.
What kind of fish were there? Just like
well, bass and carp and stuff like that. And
eat it?
Red horse. Huh?
Did you guys eat it?
Yeah, we eat it. Yeah.
Was it good?
Oh yeah, we had eat most things that we get.
So, how far was your bus stop from your house?
What kind of bus?
Your school bus.
We didn't have no school bus.
There was no school bus?
No school bus.
So how'd you get to school then?
Leather shoes and walking.
How far was that walk again?
3 miles.
3 miles. Holy crap. So let's get into that then. So what was school like for you when you were a kid?
Yeah, wasn't no big deal. It was just a school where I had to be there, learning and stuff. So it wasn't no big deal. I mean, as far as being there, because school was school, and I knew everything. I knew everything they were going to teach me before I even went in there.
Did you like school?
Huh?
Did you like school?
No.
No. Why is that?
I just didn't like it.
Didn't like learning and stuff?
I didn't like going. Being told what to do.
Oh yeah. Did you ever finish high school?
No.
No. What grade did you go up to?
8th.
8th?
Yeah.
What school did you go to?
Har, Tennessee school. It was it was Har, Tennessee. It was 2 schools where I went to. I went to the new school when it opened up, and I went to the old school when we walked to school. In fact, I lived in the old schoolhouse. My dad rented the school, half of the old schoolhouse from the people that owned it, and we lived in it.
Just lived in the schoolhouse?
We lived in the schoolhouse, but not when it was working, with students and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
That's where we lived for a long time.
Wow. That's insane.
Huh?
That's insane. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Think about
Well, that's all we had to, the only place we had to live. Things were bad. I mean, back in the 40s and early 50s, and it's just I lived with my uncle, aunt, and uncle, and lived on a farm with them. They took care of me too. I was shifted around a lot, and separated with my dad. My dad was always gone. I mean, he left home a lot of times. Went up to Merlin, played Ohio. Never worked to work, to find jobs and work, and left us with somebody else. And that's when my brother left home and went to one of my aunts and uncles and Junior. And he left home and went to one of my aunts and uncles, and stayed there and lived there and went to school and stuff. They took care of him.
Where were you at the time then when Junior was with your aunt and uncle?
I was home with my dad and sister. My dad wasn't there most of the time, but my sister was there and took care of me.
So, did you have a lot of friends growing up in school?
Did I have a lot of friends?
Yeah.
Well, I had all kinds of friends.
You still talk to them today?
Huh?
You still talk to a lot of them?
Now?
Mm-hmm.
No, they're all dead, most of them.
You don't?
I wouldn't even know none of them if I did.
Did any of them move up here to Ohio?
No, I know of.
And
No, I've been up here for 60 years.
60 years?
60.
Did you find BMO when you were?
I found them in 1970, 1970.
Was that like after you moved up here?
Yeah. Oh, I'd been up here. Yeah, I'd been up here. And I was married before and everything, and I'd been up here for a long time. I'd been up here since 1950 some. I got away from the 50s.
You married in Ohio, right? Your first wife?
Huh?
Did you marry your first wife in Ohio?
Oh, I married in Tennessee.
Got married in Tennessee?
Yeah.
How many kids did you have?
3.
3. And 2 with BMO, right? Just
2,
Charlie.
yeah, actually, yeah.
So how'd you know BMO was?
Huh?
I said, how'd you know BMO was the one for you?
Well, we met and started talking, dating. We went dating. We just, was friendly and dating and stuff. And I just, felt that she was the one for me. I mean, and she was just out of high school stuff, and I don't know how old she was, 17, 18 years old. And I don't know, I was 20-something.
20-something?
Yeah. But,
what was she like when you met her? Like, was she?
She was, she liked to party and stuff. Her friend Roseanne, they were out hanging out in bars and stuff, and there was a bar that everybody went to down there on the Green Street, where we lived over there.
Is that where you met her, at the bar, or did you?
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah.
Like, what'd you do? Did you just go up to her and say hello, or did you buy her a drink?
No. She was in there with Roseanne, and I went up to her and sat down talking to her, and then I took her out for something to eat, and we went out to eat and stuff, and we started dating then, seeing each other, and ended up going together and getting married.
What did Bima's parents think of you guys getting married?
Yeah, they first didn't like it. They told her it would never work. Told her it never worked. 50 years later, it's still here.
Did you guys get married at an official wedding, or did you?
No, we went to a Justice of Peace.
You guys just
up in Telegraph Road up there. Went to a Justice of Peace. Went up to Monroe, Michigan, got her license, and went to Telegraph up there where the Justice of Peace used to be. Telegraph Road up there, and he married us up there, and he married us and turned us loose up there and give us her license.
What were you gonna say?
Huh?
What were you gonna say?
Oh, we got our license in Monroe. I mean, then we had to go to him, but he married us and give us our marriage certificate and everything.
You said you've been married for almost 50 years.
We've been married 50 years.
50 years. So, what is your best memory with Bima over this 50 years?
Best memory?
Mm-hmm.
It would be growing up with her and her growing up with me and you know, because I loved her very much, took care of her and worked. And I was glad to have her. And when she come along with your father, Charlie, or not your father,
No.
but your father, Larry. But my son Charlie, he come on, and I thought you know everything was good, and we stayed together after that. And Charlie was, I don't know how old he was when Jamie was born. 7 years old, I think. Jamie was born.
What do you think of my mom? Did he like her?
Huh?
Did Charlie like my mom when she was young?
Yeah.
I heard my mom used to pick on him, like
Yeah.
like the little stir thing by the washer.
Yeah.
Or she used to hit Uncle Charlie in the legs with it.
Yeah. Yeah. He's crippled in his legs.
I heard also about the bike story with his feet.
Huh?
He fell off the bike or something and dislocated his toes or something like that.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was riding the bike and he pedal come down around the thing and he caught his toe on the concrete. I think he broke all 5 of them.
Dang.
Yeah, on one foot.
That was painful.
Yeah, he had to be with the doctor and be taped up. And I mean, he wouldn't do nothing. What they could do was tape them up and stuff.
Ooh.
Put a big heavy sandal on them. Tape them up to where they couldn't move.
Dang. Sounds painful. What about work? Did you always work for Blanchard? Like, was that the...
No. I started working back. Well, I worked all my life out on a farm and stuff. Didn't work since I was 4 years old and out in the fields and the farm. But my first paying job, and a Social Security job, was down when the Bristol racetrack.
Was it?
Yeah.
What'd you do?
I just worked on making mud for rocks and stuff, mixing up concrete and doing stuff on with putting blocks down and stuff, with building the foundation around it.
Well, that was cool. Did you have any other jobs besides working at the racetrack in Blanchard?
Yeah, I worked at Virginia Woodworks. I worked at Virginia Woodworks, which was a lumber company.
You always liked being outdoors, I guess. Huh?
Yeah.
Sounds like most of your jobs were outdoors.
Yeah, it was Virginia Woodworks was where they used cut lumber up and made stuff out of it and sell televisions and whatever. I forget what it was. A lot of stuff and yeah, I enjoyed that. And
how much did you make?
$40 a week.
$40 a week?
Yeah.
Was that a lot back then?
No, it was $1 an hour.
$1 an hour?
Yeah. It was $1 an hour.
Did you have to help contribute to were you still living with your sisters and brothers at the time when you started your working?
I was married. When I worked at Virginia Woodworks, I lived with my aunt.
Oh, you lived with your aunt?
I lived with my aunt, Uncle Johnny. My Aunt Radell and Uncle Johnny. Or not my Uncle Johnny. Johnny was my brother.
Yeah, your brother Johnny.
Yeah.
Did he work with you at all?
Me and him, the only other thing he worked with me is me and him got out and mowed lawns all summer long. And made money.
Did you make a lot off of that?
No, I made probably $10 a day. And that was good money then. We squandered it by putting in pinball machines and stuff, shooting pinball machines and stuff like that. Work for it and then go spend it. So,
what did you think of Blanchard then? Was that like...
I worked for a tree company out from Tennessee. I started there in Bristol with a tree company. It was Union Line Tree Service, Union Line Clearance. That was the name of it, and it was old man Wade, Lee Wade, is the one that owned it. And I worked there in Bristol. Then he transferred me around, started transferring me around to different places. And then finally he ended up transferring me to Ohio. And I come to Ohio, and then I come to Ohio, and went to work up at a tree with a line clerks company up here, trimming trees for the electric company. And that was for who was that? That was who it was. But I worked for them for that was union line clerks too. It was union line clerks I worked for them for about 4 or 5 years. And they had an office in Tennessee and one in West Virginia, one in North Carolina, and one in Ohio up here. And their main office here was in Lorraine, Ohio, up there. That's where their main office was. And they had a main office in Bristol. That's where he lived down on the farm down there. I used to work on his farm. He was a good old man. Took care of you.
I got Charlie seen it. Oh, sorry, I got Charlie seen it.
He took care of you good and stuff, and he liked me and treated me good. So I never had no problems getting jobs with anybody. I mean, because everybody that I worked for, I worked hard and did hard work for them, and anything they wanted done, I'd do it for them. And that's why they liked to have me. And,
Oh yeah, I've seen you work before. You're a hard worker.
Yeah, I've been like it all my life. But I learned that in the fields. My uncle's a farm and stuff. He used to get out and take a hoe and hoe the fields, the corn and tobacco and stuff. They'd take me. We just start one end of the field and go all the way to the end on a whole row, and take us about 3 hours. So.
How many rows were there?
Well, probably 20, 30 rows, that could be done. And it was probably an acre. And then you go to that, you get that done, you go to another place where you had your garden and stuff, clean it out and different things. You stay busy all the time on a farm. Had cattle. And like my aunt and uncle were Uncle Simon and my aunt and Uncle Simon's and Margaret, and they had cattle and horses and stuff and pigs. And I stayed there for a time when my dad was in the Army. I stayed there. He was in Baltimore and working. I stayed there, and they took care of me. I was raised over with them. I was going to school. I lived there. That's where I started to go to school. There, we just lived down this road there from it.
I think I got all I need.
You got all you need?
Yeah. Thank you, Papa. I really appreciate it.
All right, hon.
All right, I love you.
All right. Bye-bye. Love you. You leaving?
Yeah, we're about to leave.
Yep.
All right.
Where you guys going? Oh, that's it. Your phone?
Yeah.